Because of a major commitment, a major car maker is keeping 5 million pounds of trash out of landfills each year. A few years ago, General Motors started the process of producing zero waste at its Renaissance Center in Detroit. Waste reduction isn't just good for the environment, but it's good for business. Here to explain how, John Bradburn. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Mary. How are you?
Hey, we're fine. Thanks for asking. How are things in Detroit?
All fine. Dealing with a little bit of the cold weather, but we're having fun doing it.
Yeah, I understand that. What did it take to bring the Renaissance Center to landfill-free status? It must have been some kind of undertaking.
Well, it was. In fact, to become landfill-free, you need to manage all operational byproducts. That is, all those various things generated that businesses do. And you need to do that in a way that doesn't go to the landfill through reuse, recycling, those sort of things. Now, the Renaissance Center itself, as you can imagine, it's quite large. It has 14 acres in area. It has, on a daily basis, about 15,000 people working here, 3,000 of which are from the public. But the real key here is that all those materials are managed in the best possible way. So, for instance, if somebody puts one trash bag out to their curb on a daily basis, they put out more than all of our plants combined, and we have 110 plants landfill-free around the world.
So what are some of the challenges that you faced here?
Well, all of our GM plants around the world, in the manufacturing side, we figured out to manage the metals, to manage the plastics, all those various things. But the Renaissance Center was a little different. Very diverse location. Because of its size, magnitude, and the amount of people here, and being in downtown Detroit, those challenges included mattresses, for instance, from the Marriott. How do you get those recycled? Because they're part of this equation. They're part of daily operational materials. Large volumes of plastic and paper. Developing companies locally here in Detroit so that distances were short, moving materials to and from these locations. All very important to get it done and done right. Collaboration really was the key amongst all the various retailers, 27 in fact here at this location.
I mentioned off the top that we know it's good for the environment what you're doing. We can wrap our head around that. But in terms of being good for business, this has generated revenue for you, hasn't it?
It has. Thanks for asking. A tremendous amount of revenue, in fact. And that's very important to the sustainability of these sort of programs. It makes money. And in order to do that, it really becomes a matter of looking at things in a different way. How do you take metals, for instance, and get the best possible value? Or cardboard, for instance, and not just recycle them, that's good, but do what maybe we did in a project, and that is we turned cardboard scrap into vehicle parts.
Wow.
We've taken vehicle part scrap and made coats for the homeless, for instance.
That's incredible. Any other examples?
Oh yeah, our Chevy Volt battery covers, for instance, from our batteries that we generated at our Brownstown plant south of Detroit. Those covers were very difficult material to recycle. So it really was a reuse opportunity, because reuse is better than recycling.
That's right.
We've taken those covers and we make wildlife habitat and duck nest boxes, bat houses from them. Sustainability is about helping all living creatures, and that includes wildlife.
John, we have less than a minute, but I'm wondering about the takeaway for the rest of us. I don't work for GM, but is there something here that I can take to my company, maybe to become landfill free?
All companies should look at waste as resources and try to figure out, one, how to not generate them, and then two, if you do, how to maximize the value financially, but also minimize the environmental impact. The takeaways are, no matter what sector you're from, whether it be retail, clothing, food and beverage, we work with all those various sectors, by the way, and include also inputs from people from their households. We're all part of this ecosystem, this global ecosystem, and we all generate materials. So everybody can relate to how to look at things and try to manage them in the best possible way to keep materials available for future generations.
Thank you, John. We appreciate your time today. This has been neat.
Thank you, Mary.
All right, Mike?